Now we shall look at CSS attributes that are very commonly used to alter the appearance of your web page content. Right? Remember, the idea of using CSS is to make your page attractive and, more importantly, to convey the information in the shortest possible time. We shall start with text styling attributes. These attributes control the appearance of the text or static content on your web page. What we have here is a list of attributes that are popular, right? Now, you have two options here, right? You can either look at the attached CSS file, which lists down the use models and the syntax for each of these attributes, or you can also look at the corresponding page on W3 Schools to get a feel of how these attributes work and what they are intended to do. What we'll do here is use some of these attributes to give you a sense of how they can alter the appearance of text. Before we do that, let's take a look at what this web page looks like by default. So we hit preview and essentially we've got a grayish box which contains some text. We shall also look at the existing CSS styles that have been applied to this particular div, right? So we use the ID selector in the external CSS file. We've assigned a width, we've assigned some margin, we've assigned some padding, and finally we have a background color. Okay. So now what we'll do is we'll assign some of these text styles that are listed here. So let's start with color. So as the name suggests, what color will do is change the color of your text. So let's make this red. Let us also change the line height, and we shall see in a moment what line height does. And finally, let us assign a text decoration attribute. Right? Let's call it underline. All right. So that's about it. Let's save this and hit preview. Okay. So as the page loads, you'll spot a few critical differences from its default appearance. First, as expected, the color of the text has changed to red. Second, what the line height attribute has done is spaced out consecutive lines, right? If you recall how this looked like earlier. The unit EM is essentially a relative unit, right? So the default is 1 EM, and you have essentially directed the browser to increase the spacing 2 times. And finally, the text decoration underline attribute has ensured that all the text is underlined, right? At this point, I'd like to point out that be careful while using the text decoration underline attribute, because intuitively visitors to your web page will assume that underlined text is inherently a link, or in other words, it's clickable, right?